did not go how I wanted it to. At all. I got sick, probably with the coronavirus, and was forced to essentially miss the entire process. And now, all that's left is for me to look back at my failure. It's hard trying not to beat yourself up about it, and it's just made all the work that much more difficult since I never got to work on the project. I just tell myself that all that's left is to keep moving forward, that I can somehow make the best of this. I will have more opportunities to help people in the future, and I can't really say that I've wasted my time either. I like to consider my worldview as the ideals of a semi ethical lawyer. My job is to help others, and you may not like how I go about doing that. It often includes lying, manipulation, and other bad stuff. Even I may not like doing a lot of that, but the main intent of it is to help someone who needs help. I feel like that self awareness generates sympathy for others. That analytical nature allows one to see the pain that others feel. One of the main ideas that I need to keep in mind is the audience. Whether you write a story, give a presentation, offer a solution, you always need to keep your audience in mind because the same solution does not work for everyone. This comes more into play with my service learning, but this is something I always try to keep in mind anyway, and I feel like my understanding of the phrase increased. Sometimes your intended audience is not the actual audience you're reaching out to, and so your solution falls or you realize the faults of it. As far as my understanding of it, service learning is about trying to make a positive impact in the community. But there is more to it than just that. Service learning is about building the mindset of a servant, wanting to actively help others. So, service learning should be the result of your worldview. In turn, I thought that I could help to spread awareness of homelessness. Retrospectively, that idea makes sense to a lawyer. Information is everything to us, after all. When it comes to an actual goal for myself, I'd hope to get a better grasp of my resources. It's understandably easy to learn about the federal policies. It's easy to find landmark Supreme Court cases, but I had never before tried to find out about local policies and how the local courts have ruled. That information is obviously less impactful and scarce, making it that much harder to find. But it's for that very reason that I wanted a greater understanding. Not everything will just be in the open waiting for me to find it. Now, for my actual project, my thought process was that people need to know more about the issue. Throughout my research, I found that people often react very negatively towards the homeless. I identified a possible source of this as people lacking information about the homelessness. After all, people often do not take kindly to the unknown. On top of that, if the people trying to serve are ignorant, then how much could they really help? If anything, an ignorant response could make the issue much worse. So, my plan was to compile information that I could then give to my group, who could then better serve the community and in turn make others more aware. Due to the very nature of my work, I did not join with any community groups. Instead, I worked under Mr. Reagan. I did not have any set times, I just working on the project whenever I could. I specifically collected research on local government policies, history of local homelessness, how the courts have responded, and just basic information on the various community groups that try to serve the homeless. In the end, I worked on that paper, leaned back, and thought, what am I doing right now? What did I truly hope to accomplish with that project? That was the question burning in my mind, and I'd been putting it off for probably too long. The truth is that when the idea first came to my mind, I was thinking about how the people in power react to homelessness. That maybe if the people who could change everything were more knowledgeable, they could then do something. What is the point? But what is the point in telling someone experiencing homelessness that 34% of the county is homeless? It would change nothing and then make them look at you in a bad light. If I truly wanted awareness, I could have organized some event or something. there were no measurable results for what I had in mind anyway. I realized then that my idea was dead before I could ever try it out. By then, I realized there was not enough time to try anything different. Then I got terribly sick and it made no impact with the service anyway. I knew I failed. And that was the end of that. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And boy, did it all go wrong. I can't honestly say that it was all failure, though, since I did slightly grow along the way. I feel like I got a better sense of time management. After all, those legal documents are extremely time consuming. One has to properly pace themselves in order to fully understand it. Alongside that, I feel like I can use my resources better. Not great, but not bad either. My dad once told me about this story of a small business owner, and I feel like it applies here. Essentially, this man and his family owned a restaurant. They were successful and even owned a couple stores. One day, a fancy car pulls into the parking lot. The car door opened, revealing a man dressed in a full suit, fancy wristwatch and everything. The man walks in and wants to talk to the owner, saying that he has an offer that he cannot refuse. The owner, of course, comes out to speak with the man. The man says that he's very impressed with their stores, so impressed that he wants to spread them throughout the country. The owner glances around at his small, home-like establishment, thinks about it for a while, and in response to that offer, the owner asks simply how they would guarantee the quality of the food. Disappointed, the businessman gets up and walks away. When I first heard this story, I thought the owner was a fool for turning it down. And I really still do. I mean, it's your job to guarantee the quality, not the business owner, but I digress. I kind of understand his perspective a bit more now, though. It's about finding satisfaction in what you have and making a choice about how you want to move forward.